Now that you've turned in the exercise on paragraphs, we're going to move on to kind of the last big assignment for the week, which is response one on the same essay of returning to my father's Koreatown. So this assignment can be found on pages 11 through 12 in the syllabus. And you should always, when going through an assignment, ask yourself these questions like, what is the purpose of the assignment? What are you being asked to learn? How does it match learning objectives, etc.? So I'll kind of help you answer some of these questions now by pointing out that really one of the key parts of this assignment is that you should focus on one idea that you found in Rhee's essay or on some aspect of Rhee's writing. So that's what you're being asked really to focus on. And you may respond how you choose. Okay, so I'm leaving this pretty wide open for you to determine on your own how you want to respond to this essay. Now, one key thing that I'm looking for is basically good paragraph structure. So you just learned how to write a good paragraph, a good opening, having clear body paragraphs with a topic sentence and a focus and support to them, and then how to summarize an essay. So I'm looking for you to do the same in this paragraph. So basically, can you apply what you learned from chapter 17 to your own writing? All right, so that's kind of the key for this assignment. Now, one thing I do want to point out that's important to know in college is the difference in reading. There's kind of reading to know and reading to learn. Every day we do reading to know. We read emails and texts, social media posts, recipes, things like that. Yet this type of reading is very different from what you're going to do in college. So in college reading, you're reading more to learn, okay? You are basically asking these questions of how is the text saying this? Why is it saying it? What does it mean? How can it be applied? Is it true? And even other questions. And you don't ask those questions so much when reading a text or a social media post or a recipe. Okay. So college reading goes a lot deeper. Okay. And you have to ask those questions to go deeper. So be aware that your reading in college is going to require a little more effort and thought than just your everyday life reading. So here's some questions to kind of help you with this. And what I do is I recommend keeping these questions on hand, maybe take a screenshot or write them on a post-it note, keep them by your computer. You also should still be filling out that worksheet, and there's a place for you to engage with these questions in that worksheet. But these questions will help you with any text, okay? Basically, what is the main idea of the text? And you can often identify this by asking yourself, what does the author want me to think, feel, believe, or do once I finished reading their piece? Okay. And then you can also find the main idea by asking yourself, what examples does the author use to support their main idea? Now, if you're ever kind of feeling confused on these first kind of three questions of finding the main idea, a good thing to do is go back and focus on the introduction and conclusion in that author's writing. This is where the author usually succinctly states what they want you to remember or do. Okay, so if you're in the middle of reading something and you're just saying, I'm confused, either go back to the introduction or jump ahead and read the conclusion. And then lastly, with these questions, is what the author says true? This is kind of just asking you to reflect on what the author has said. And that goes back to the deeper of reading to learn. This is asking you to engage in the text. And then one other thing I do recommend for improving your understanding is always mark important passages or write down your questions in the margin of the text. And that'll just give you a much richer experience and help you with future assignments when you're asked to then quote that source. All right, so lastly, you're going to be going through the writing process for response one, and you're going to start with this discover phase. Okay, so you're wide open to choose your focus for this paper, and what's going to help you is reading chapter 15, strategies for generating ideas. This is going to help you learn, how do I find a main idea, and if I have so many ideas in my head, how do I narrow it down to choose the one I want? So what I would do right now is go ahead, pause this video, and read chapter 15, Generating Ideas. It should take about 10 to 20 minutes. And then once you've read the chapter, go ahead and come back and watch this next video, and I'll walk you through more of the idea stage, the discovery stage, and the other